What's up, Patriot Nation? After the Patriots Week 3 27-0 shutout of the Houston Texans, it begs the question, can anybody play quarterback for the New England Patriots and they still be successful? We'll tackle that question and more. Look forward to the Bills game all this week on Patriots Wrap 360.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Oh, yes. Love that dirty water.
Ow, Boston, your mom.
AL East champs.
They are indeed. That's why we're coming into this, folks, Pats fans, because the Red Sox locked up the AL East tonight. But we're going to get into Patriots. Alongside Jason Cherella, I'm Mike Conley. This is another edition of Patriots Wrap 360. Thanks for hanging in with us, folks. This is a weekly rudderless discussion on all things Patriots, for fans, by fans. And if you want to join said discussion, you can hit us up on the YouTube chat room and steer the rudderless discussion in a different direction. But, Jay, let me tell you, all the pundits were saying that...
What were they saying? Tell me.
Well, they were saying that, is this the time the pupil gets the teacher? And Bill O'Brien, going back to Foxborough, they were on their third string quarterback. Maybe this is the time to get him. But as we hear from Coach Belichick, every single week, there's three phases to football. And I got to tell you, those two other phases that on offense seem to be playing with a chip on their shoulder.
Woo!
Wow.
Yeah. Seriously, and by the way, if this game pretty much, it seems to me, cemented Belichick as the greatest of all time.
It had to, right?
It was so weird leading up to this, with the Garoppolo and then him going down and Brissett coming in. It just like everybody swooned to this game as if he can win this game against Houston, a very good team,
2-0 Houston team,
2-0 Houston team. If he can win this game, it's like undoubtedly the best coach of all time, and I kind of agree.
Indubitably.
By the way, they prepared Brissett on 3 days. 3 days.
Right.
And by the way, MVP so far this year, McDaniels.
Yeah. I mean, he's been great. And the quarterback coach who's...
Oh, yeah, Shaplinski. Jerry Shaplinski.
Jerry.
Big. Yeah, big.
And he got an attaboy in the post-game presser.
Yeah,
not the presser, but...
in the locker room.
Yes.
But it was kind of like, no one's really talking about that. He's the assistant quarterback's coach, but he got special recognition after the game.
From Bill.
It was almost like a game ball. Here's Brissett, the game ball, Shaplinski, game ball.
Yeah.
So you know that to me, it seems that Shaplinski was instrumental in preparing Brissett for this game.
No question.
And it was like his big coming out, I felt like, because what else I took note of, after the game, walking off the field, Brissett was like, the two of them super excited, embraced him. So they had a thing going on. Brissett and Shaplinski, they embraced each other with a big hug. They were very excited. It was like they aced the final exam. That's what that looked like, and they kind of did,
I love that. You think Bill might have actually let them celebrate that win for like 36 hours because it was a Thursday game?
I think they did. And what's funny is when Brissett scored that run, he came back and gave him the ball.
I love that.
I did too, but it was like it put Belichick in this spot where he's not used to being as that like very stoic individual.
Yeah.
He all of a sudden the quarterback runs for a touchdown, comes back and gives it to Belichick. He's kind of caught off guard there because what's Belichick how is he supposed to handle that?
Well, that's what I was thinking too, and then it actually came to light. And if you on Inside the NFL, I think they had Belichick mic'd up, and you hear Brissett when he comes back. He says ball control,
ball control,
or ball security.
Right.
So that was drilled to him all week, like this is your ball.
Right.
Don't give it to the other team.
Absolutely.
And he was just like, at first I was like, oh, he's giving the game ball to coach. This is really putting coach in a position where he's never going to be.
But you're right. And I saw that. And but still, like, that's not, nobody really goes up to Belichick and gives him a high five. And that's kind of a high five And it was early enough in the game that, like, for me, I felt like, boy, you got a lot more left in the game to be doing this kind of, it wasn't celebrating, but it was like, here you go, coach, look what I did kind of thing. And I was like, whew.
Talk about, as you alluded to, Josh McDaniels being the MVP. On that play in particular, what a great call versus that defense. A perfect defense for them to do it. What they are in man-to-man, they essentially, he's just got to beat kind of one guy. And
safety.
Shaq Mason cut that end.
The guy.
You know, it was just perfectly executed. As
well,
he
he dusted who was it, the linebacker coming across. I mean, he had no problem getting around him or the D end or whatever it was. But the safety coming across is the one move he did have to make, and he got it. It was impressive. The kid's fast. The kid's good. His athletic ability is amazing. Like, but you know.
And how about Malcolm Mitchell's downfield block that he sustained?
It's great.
So he is just kind of, you know, as another rookie, he was very impressive.
That was a rookie touchdown.
That was a rookie touchdown. 3rd and 4th round picks, making that happen. And, you know, it's great. And you hear all these things about Malcolm Mitchell and, like, how good a kid he is and definitely a character, you know, selection and what have you. And that's, you know, especially after the Hernandez shenanigans, all we can select from now on. And so he, you know, to kind of fall in that same Julian Edelman mode of, you know, no matter what you do your job, you know. But, like, Edelman just kind of sets the tone. And I loved on Blount's long run later, Edelman pancakes a dude.
Oh, pancakes are amazing. And by the way, you're not going to see that with other teams in the league. The wide receivers, everybody is giving up, is sacrificing for the team.
Right.
And that's what's happening with these blocks. And it's amazing everyone's buying in. It's something different going on with this team as opposed to in teams past. I really feel like people, the team and the roster and everyone on it is really buying into the system.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you know, it's when you go into, and this is like where I almost kind of feel sorry for Rex, is that it's tough for him to get the people to come in and buy into the system. You know why? He holds up that hand, and that shit's naked. You know?
Wow.
I mean, it's easy to get the kids buy in when you got rings, baby. Rings.
Yeah, it's more than that, though. I mean, look, Belichick came in and established a culture within the program, and it takes some years, and you don't need rings to do that, but it helps.
It sure does.
It sure does. It helps. But he had established that. That's why they won the first Super Bowl, is because he was able to establish that. Rex Ryan can't establish that. Why? Because he needs to buy into the system himself. He's running amok with these pressers, and he's acting like a child.
Yeah.
You can't act like a child unless you're a very successful coach, which he is not.
Right.
Okay? And, like, when you're calling Edelman and acting like a reporter, ask him if he's going to play quarterback, I mean, it's funny.
Yeah.
I appreciate it, but you know what? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You know, you've stooped below the level of the players on the Patriots at this point.
But I mean, you know, as you hear, is it not true in NFL coaching or in the NFL in general? But you always hear, be yourself, you know, in life and all that stuff. And, like, Rex is kind of doing that, you know? It's just maybe him being himself is maybe he's a little more tailor-made to being a circus clown as opposed to a football coach.
Listen,
maybe he's just in the wrong profession.
I agree with you, quite honestly, because if I was a coach, I would probably be a little bit more of a circus myself.
Right.
But
no question.
But when you do that, you have to you're adding pressure to yourself. That's what you're doing. And so you have to make sure you succeed with that kind of, you know, if that's what you're putting out there, you know, like just I mean, I'm a loudmouth. That's what I always did. But when you get in front of a camera and you start spouting off there in press conferences, you better back that up. The pressure's on you to back that up. And I don't know that Buffalo needs that. They already have the pressure to win. So that's my little rant. Okay.
Yeah, no, it's cool. And I read about it, but I didn't unfortunately see it yet. I think it was yesterday or. Rex Ryan's impression of Belichick. He gives an impression. I mean,
I didn't. You know what's funny is I didn't even click on it because I was like,
it's gonna be absurd.
Well, I mean, I already know what that impression is, so he must not have been saying much, just simple
On to New
answers.
England, yeah.
And quite honestly, it was more of the Rex antics that I was just like, I get it, moving on,
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe he can mimic the Patriots team, and maybe they can, come out and play that way.
Wow.
Instead of
Let's hope maybe he saves that for week 5.
exactly.
Although they looked pretty good last week, so maybe their firing of their offensive coordinator worked for them, because they were able to beat the Cardinals. Now, let me ask you this question. The Cardinals were a lot of the pundits' pick to come out of the NFC this year and go to the Super Bowl. The Bills better now because of that coaching change, or are the Cardinals just not that good?
I'm not ready to bury the Cardinals.
Okay.
Granted, they do have, 2 losses now?
Right.
Okay.
One at the hands of New England Patriots.
Right. We'll see about that. I think the Cards are definitely beatable, but listen.
Are you just chalking
Yes.
it up to it
Yes.
being a West team having to come East? Because that always doesn't work for them,
I mean, I'm not going to speak on the Cardinals' behalf, but I think that, I think they're going to be fine. I mean, let's give credit to Buffalo. I think that, they have a good team.
Right.
I mean, weren't you surprised going in that, wow, they're already 0-2? I mean, they do have a great squad. Tyrod Taylor's great. I mean, he can beat you with the arm, beat you with the legs. They got some great receivers. They got a great running back. I mean, they're a good team. So I think it's more or less they showed up. They had a little chip on their shoulder. They were down 0-2. It was a must-win in some ways for them, a must-win. So, they won. They beat a good team. And quite honestly, it's going to be about this weekend. It's going to be tough. It's an AFC East rival. Rex Ryan doesn't want to beat anyone more in the league than the New England Patriots. Question is, he doesn't, and nor do we know what quarterback he'll be playing against.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, and so the logical next question, okay, is when you come to the conclusion after him winning with his third-string quarterback that this guy is the best coach in football, if not the best coach ever in football, and probably the best coach in American sports right now, is the next question that comes from that, is Tom Brady not as good as we think he is? And for the first,
here we go.
For the first
I get
time,
it. I get
for
the
the
question.
first time in my life, okay,
You started thinking that? You had those dirty thoughts?
No, I didn't think that. But I visualized Tom Brady in a different uniform because I realized what a competitor this guy is, okay? And just the simple fact people are floating that idea out there, I wouldn't put it past this guy to have a chip on his shoulder to, before his career is done, which I believe is going to happen around
2 years.
age 43. I think he's got 3. He's 39 this year, right? 40,
I know,
41,
but
maybe 4 years, including this.
The third year, here's the thing. He could go out clean in 2, or it's going to be that third year is going to be calling for the next It's just going to get like
Is
that.
Is
You
it?
know how it goes?
If anybody's going to defeat Father Time,
I'm telling you right now.
it's going to be the GOAT.
If Garoppolo didn't get hurt in that game and he continued on the pace he was going, back in Boston, you would have started hearing all this talk about Garoppolo and as soon as Tom Brady came into the game and the first pick, you know what they'd be saying? Well, I don't know, let's bring in Garoppolo. That's how.
Of course, it's the same town that was clamoring for Michael Bishop. Okay, where's the Bish now? Is he calling K-State games?
So to your point, I get it, and the question is,
It made me sad. I almost was like, okay, bad Pat fan.
Well, I think he's gonna, Brissett has he still has some years, because we can agree that he's the successor.
Yeah.
Okay, so he still has some years to sit under. He's still got a couple of years, a solid 2 years to sit back there and marinate. By the way,
Who, Grops?
Brisket.
Oh, yeah.
He has a couple of years to sit back there and marinate.
Yeah, I mean, this kid is so poised, and it also it's just the smart way to go. Then when a guy gets his opportunity to play, he appreciates it more. you know, and he's not going to let go of it because he knows what it's like sitting on the bench. Plus, he doesn't even know how much he knows and how much he's soaking in, you know. And
Yeah,
then when he gets in
exactly.
there, that's why it's like all these people that are clamoring, like Rams fans, to get like
Goff in? Yeah.
It's foolish.
It is foolish, and I appreciate Fisher for just holding on that.
Yeah.
holding.
It seemed like he was pressured into getting him into uniform.
Yeah.
Anyways, I think we talked about that.
Well, they want to sell jerseys, so you might as well have him put the jersey on.
Yeah. To go back for the Texans game before we put it to bed entirely, you know, it's Belichick's old, you know, what he tries to do every time is take the best player out of the game, right? And so he goes and DeAndre Hopkins, boom, out of the game, locked down. Logan Ryan, big time. Woody held him like 3 catches, like 42 yards or something like that. It's ridiculous. And like on the other side of the ball, J.J. Watt, you know. But I mean, it comes out today that he's got the bum back.
Right.
And, but you know, he was facing a lot of double teams, and they ran away from him a lot of the time. You know, it's like, okay, you know. I mean, so I understand the guy's hurt. Maybe he came back too early and stuff like that. But you know, it just seems like Belichick being Belichick. I'm interested to see this week, especially because I have LaShawn McCoy on one of my fantasy teams. Is he going to be public enemy number 1 for the Pats this week?
Well, I would think, you know. I mean, I think it's they have to respect that backfield, whether it's Tyrod Taylor or LaShawn McCoy. I mean, they have to contain that. That's number 1 for sure.
Right.
But before we just haul off onto this Buffalo Bills, and I know I've already talked about it, but let's just, you know, this Texans game, the defense and special teams.
Oh man.
We have to just mention,
yes,
like,
of course,
how amazing. And I got to say, I think a lot of, you know, everyone's talking about Brissett and like, oh, you know, he won his first NFL game and what have you. The special teams and defense won that game.
Oh, yeah.
And it would have been a different story had Brissett have to play from behind, for instance. Okay, they got up ahead quickly and they stayed ahead. Like, Brissett never had to play from behind. And we never had to rely on his arm. And he sprained his thumb, or you know, whatever that injury is on his thumb. I mean, it sounded like he did it in somewhere early second half. So he was playing. Granted, he was playing a lot of the second half with that thumb sprain. So, but he wasn't exactly accurate downfield.
Okay, yeah. I mean,
and it's okay. It's okay. I mean, and it's quite all right. I mean, he's been thrust into this position, so he's done a great job. But that being said, kudos to the special teams and defense for winning that game.
No question. Ryan Allen, our punter, got AFC Special Teams Player of the Week.
As you should.
6 of 7 punts inside the 20.
Amazing.
The 7th punt was touchdown at the 20. Ridiculous. And like, not just in that, like at the 11, the 10, the 10, the 14, the 5, and the 4. And ironically, on that 4, that was the last punt of the game, and he pins him at the 4, and he comes off the field and gets an earful from Belichick.
Yeah, I saw that.
Coach him hard, baby.
Yeah.
Coach him hard. That's just like Belichick says. Hey, gang, if you're trying to get us on the YouTube chat, we're having a little bit of technical difficulties. So if you wanted to hit up Jay Cherella on his Twitter, where would they do that, Jay?
That's at J, letter J, CHERELLA.
Yes, it is. It is.
It is.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
So
yeah, hit us up on Jay's thing. If you guys have a question for us, we'll try and answer it to the best of our abilities. Keeping in mind this is finalysis, not analysis. But you know, give us a topic to talk about. We always love that.
Finalysis, huh?
You like that?
I like that.
Coining that. TM, baby.
All right.
TM.
A couple other quick things, and we'll move on from the Texans here.
Please. Before we get along from special teams.
Yeah, go ahead. Hit me.
You know, I think you know me. I'm not, you know, overly hyperbolic.
Yeah.
That might have been the best special teams game I've ever seen from the Patriots.
Yeah.
And this might be the best special teams unit I've ever seen with the Patriots. I mean, you go down the line, it's like we have 5 or 6 guys on that special teams unit that could make a case for being the, you know, what I like to call the Matthew Slater Award, the Pro Bowl special teams player, but they only have one spot for that, so that's you know, Matt Slater. I mean, like, Slater, obviously. Brandon Bolden causes a fumble. Nate Ebner causes a fumble. 2 fumbles caused by the kicking game. And, like, it goes back to that Belichick willingness to, do that kick and have him cover. Even the special teams coach, his name is alliterative. Is it Jim Judge? Jim Judge, I believe, is the special teams coordinator. And it's Jeff Judge. Anyways.
You be the judge.
Hey-oh, jokes here. And so he actually went, and that was another thing that was caught up on Bill's mic on the Showtime show Inside the NFL, was which is shocking that Bill agreed to do that.
Yeah, I know.
Very shocking.
Yeah.
But he said, he's like, oh, should we just kick this one deep? He's like, no, make him run it, make him return it. That's what we do. And that was the first fumble, and Bolden, and then but when is it gonna happen? When is touchback gate gonna happen? From when is this gonna become? Oh, Bill's doing too good. The Patriots are winning too much.
Change the rules again.
Change the rules again.
Change the rules again.
Let's put it back to the 20 just for the Patriots. What's great is just this blows up in like Goodell's face. I mean, I know it's like rules committee and all that stuff, but it all comes back to the main guy. Like, you're supposed to be about player safety, and you think this is a move that's going to go in that direction, but now you have the best special team ever to play lighting people up.
Right. Right.
They're gonna, there's gonna be some limbs broken on this.
Yeah.
There's gonna be some concussion protocols levied by this team. Okay, you should have had a little more foresight in thinking that Bill wasn't taking the touchback. And every team's gonna follow suit now.
Yeah, I know.
Just like every team filmed other teams having signals.
Oh, you wanted to put that in. You were working to get that in.
I wasn't working to get it in, but it's how I've always felt about it.
Yeah, I know, I agree.
And I really think that, you fast forward 20 years,
Go for it.
30 years from now, Goodell and all the NFL brass and stuff are going to look back at this time and be like, why the hell did we do this? Why the hell did we tarnish our best coach of all time? Why the hell did we tarnish the best quarterback that's ever done it? We're tarnishing our game. And that's exactly what they did. Yeah, and it's like it's shocking to me, and I guess maybe it's just appalling because I'm a Patriots fan. But I just, as a person with common sense, I think, and a fan of the game of football, I'm appalled.
Yeah, but you know what? I love it because that's what makes great. You know what I mean? Belichick and Brady, they're trying to tarnish him, but yet still they're going to win. They're still going to be revered as the greatest of all time. So the only person that looks awful in this situation is Goodell at the end of the road.
Right.
At the end of the road. Like, I mean, people can hate. The people will hate on the Patriots, but let time go by when those guys are gone, and people are gonna be like, much respect to that. Like,
right?
Yeah.
I mean, if I have to hear one more educated fan say, "Oh, he's cheating. He's a cheater," I mean, I might have to, turn back from the pacifism I undertook when the Red Sox won the 2004 World Series.
Okay.
I mean, it's drawing me to that.
Okay.
I haven't been in a fight since 2006.
I know.
And I'm happy with that.
And we get it a lot out here in Southern California.
Oh,
back home, they're a little protected from this. We get it when I walk down the hallways at work. Okay.
Rest assured, Pat Nation, we are fighting the good fight here on the West Coast because Patriot Nation knows no bounds. We are here in the lovely AfterBuzz studios here in North Hollywood doing a podcast for the New England Patriots. They know no bounds. Rest assured, there's probably a Patriots podcast going on in Japan right now because that's how far-reaching they are.
Yeah. Now, let me ask you this. We're talking about Belichick now and the greatest of all time. Okay, let's talk about McDaniels. There's some stuff popping up this week about he's not going to be part of the coaching staff next year. He'll be a head coach somewhere else. What do you think about that?
I think that's probably accurate. I mean, he's got to be one of the top guys out there right now. Yeah. And the thing that I've always thought about, and McDaniels actually alluded to this, I believe, in the offseason in an interview he did, but is the second go-around. having that taste in your mouth from the first go around and knowing what you did bad, you know, and then coming back as a coordinator under a coach that really does it well, you know, it mirrors Belichick, you know. His time in the mid-'90s with the Cleveland Browns, he was still the smart X's and O guys he was, but I think he was just afraid to like kind of let his personality come out, you know, to the guy. That guy is in the press conferences was who he was 24/7. Now behind the curtain, I think he lets the players know what a good guy he is. He's got a sense of humor, all that stuff. But when it's business time, it's business. Okay. It's business time. He gets down to it. You know,
I agree with you 100%. Like, it's advantageous to McDaniels to go out, do his thing, come back, and learn from what maybe he did wrong and what he can improve on and what have you. But I've truly believe and thought and think or whatever that he is going to be the successor to Belichick in New England for many, many years. And I understand, like, maybe he is. How many years?
That's what you really think, or that's what you want so bad in your bones?
I don't know. I kind of think that. And back to the locker room celebration after the game, there was a huge hug and they embraced, and it seemed like they had a little thing going on between McDaniels and John Kraft. And I was like, like, you're looking at what I think is the future of the Patriots.
Right.
You know, John Kraft and McDaniels. Now, and I get it. Like, it goes back to the same thing with Tom Brady. It's like, how many years do you think Belichick's gonna keep coaching?
That's the thing.
You would think many years, right?
Many.
Yeah, but part of me thinks like he's just gonna be like, I'm out. I'm gonna go like.
I'm out with Brady.
I'm out with Brady. I'm gonna go fishing. I'm gonna hang out. I'm going out early like Barry Sanders.
No way. He's
No?
delusional.
No?
Delusional.
He can't let go.
I mean, all this guy knows is coaching football. He loves it. He breathes football. This is all he's known since he was a wee lad, you know, on his dad's arm on the coaching Army, you know?
I know. So
he's not going to give it up, dude.
I know.
He's coaching 10 more years, easy. Is McDaniel going to wait around 10 years?
No, of course not.
Hopefully he can go and submarine a few head coaching jobs and then come back around.
Ultimately, my question was, how many years do you think Belichick's going to go? And so if you do...
What's he, 62?
Yeah, so if you think it's another 10 years, then yeah, McDaniels is gone. He's going to go somewhere else. I thought maybe he's got like 5 years, say, left. McDaniels goes somewhere else, but knows that he's coming back.
I mean, how can you really go somewhere else and have that in the back of your mind, you know? And
because he knows,
have that not be like read in some type of interview.
Because he's going to have the control that he truly wants in New England. He's not going to have that elsewhere.
I don't necessarily agree with that. I mean, his stock is so high right now, and there are so many horrible teams out there that there's going to be half a dozen teams willing to give him the keys to the castle. There's no doubt about that.
Come on. Every one of these owners, and this is why they're not great organizations, is they can't give up the power. They can't give up the power. It's a major fault in a lot of big companies.
Then, well, I mean, you have to pick the right guy. You know, I mean, not everybody can do what Belichick does. You know,
well, it's Kraft.
Sometimes
not everyone can do what Kraft can do, which is
bring in Belichick.
Believe in your hires. Believe in your hires.
Yeah. Well, that's why it's like the Cowboys will never win a Super Bowl until Jerry Jones extracts himself from being the general manager.
Perfect example.
Yeah. So, I mean, Kraft, newsflash, is smarter than Jerry Jones. So he knows his own limitations. Jerry Jones is just swept up in the fact that I can make this happen for myself, and it's really fun.
And that's my point. Like, he
already had the setup. Him and Jimmy Johnson. Right. And he blew it up.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Here's McDaniels, like you said. He's this like shiny piece that everybody wants. Someone like Jerry Jones says, "Oh, I'm going to get that shiny piece because that's going to solve everything." He gets it and he strangles it. He suffocates it, and it doesn't work.
Right.
Okay.
All right.
Buffalo Bills.
Let's talk about the Buffalo Bills because these guys. I mean, you know, Definitely an impressive win last week over the Cardinals. I mean, are you scared? I mean, at this point, he's asking if Edelman's playing quarterback, you could roll Steve Grogan out there in a rascal scooter, and I think we'd have a good chance of beating the Bills. It's like,
hold on.
oh boy, I'm getting a little ahead of myself.
Yeah, maybe a little. Come on.
Wow.
But it is interesting.
They got some players on defense, especially. I mean, Jerry Hughes, this guy. I mean, some guys, Kyle Williams, some guys I'd like to see in, Patriots uniforms. That corner they got, Dobby, I think his name is. He's legit. They got some good players, but it's kind of hard not to be overconfident when you cheer for the New England Patriots and they're hosting a team. I mean, like their record under Belichick in Foxborough is ludicrous. So I'm almost cheering for them to lose to a certain extent.
What?
We talked about this last year about getting a loss, and it's a good teaching moment. I don't want to have what happened, in 07 again, where
No.
we're undefeated, and then it's a situation.
Let's not talk about undefeated. Let's not talk about losses. Let's just enjoy the ride. And quite honestly, I feel like going into this game, I'm telling you, Belichick and McDaniels this is like fun for them. This is like a game of strategio. They're just coming in. They're saying, "Oh, look at this. Okay, so what do you think we should do? Quarterback. We got a guy that's got a bum shoulder, a bum thumb. We got AJ Derby. We got Edelman. Okay, well let's use them all.
Yeah.
Let's just go in and use them all. let's just draw some plays up in the sand here, and let's go out and have some fun. I think they're having the most fun they've ever had in their career right now.
Yeah. Well, I've always pronounced stratego with a soft G at the end, but yeah, it would make sense that it would be a hard G. You're right. Stratego. Yeah, great game.
I never played it.
Oh, so good. How can you allude to that? Never played it. Good news, full participation today at practice. There were some limited participants, obviously, our two quarterbacks. And Brissett had a wrap on his thumb. He was playing with a wrap. There was no indication that, although you can't really tell in the shoulder pads what kind of gear Garoppolo had on his shoulder, but Dante Hightower was limited in there as well.
But full practice. Everyone out there.
Like everyone in there, so it's
a full squad.
I like to see that.
Yeah, I mean, and the question mark in quarterback is, I'm actually enjoying this. To be honest. I mean, there's even talk about AJ Derby, who quarterbacked
like high school or
no, he quarterbacked. He was a backup quarterback in Arkansas. They moved him to tight end, but he was originally recruited as a quarterback there. In a community college that he played at. He was a community college. And he actually, he played before he got to Arkansas. He was playing for a team, I want to say Missouri or something, Iowa. He was a backup quarterback there. He left, went to the community college, threw for 2,000 yards, 22 touchdowns, then went to Arkansas. They moved him to tight end. He got injured his senior year. He was drafted by the Patriots.
He is probably the emergency quarterback this week. Actually, no, he'd be fourth on the depth chart. Do you think Garoppolo's going to go? If he's limited on practice on Wednesday, you got to think. I mean, it's a sprain of the AC joint. He knows, the GOAT's coming back the following week. It's his last chance to show his wares. He's going to be out there.
I think we'll find out, in the next couple of days in practice, what he's capable of doing. Because they haven't really showed it yet, and they've been pretty I gotta admire Brissett in these pressers. He's just like, well, I'm not the coach. I don't make those decisions.
Well, he just came out and said, come on. He's like, we don't talk about injuries around here. And Garoppolo was a little more I really feel like these guys have a job, and he was trying to answer it more thoughtfully, but ultimately was just saying, we'll find out on Sunday if I can go. But he was good at deflecting all the questions of, does it hurt? Does it hurt when you throw?
So okay, let's just guess. Where do you think they're at?
I think, well, if I was in Garoppolo's position, I'd be out there no matter what. If it hurts, it hurts. But,
I think we see Brissett.
Yeah? Could be. I mean, the guy, one thing you can say about both those guys is they're poised. So poised. And, I mean, that's kind of what Parcells said when he referred Brissett, to Belichick anyways. So, I mean, you obviously know if Bill's going to spend a third-round pick on him, he
And they didn't sign any. They didn't sign any quarterback. So there's no emergency happening. Or quite honestly, they kind of. It's like that thing again. They're like, I'm good. It's like, you know what it is? It's like me in fantasy football. I'm good. I don't want to make it. I got my team. I'm gonna make it work with my team because I drafted this. This is my thing, and now I'll maneuver things and make it work. I like this team.
I'm gonna remind you of this conversation when you're 2-8 on your fantasy team. What are you right now?
2-1.
See, so what was it? Oh yeah, what was interesting, I thought too, is and one of the guys they did bring in last week was T.J. Yates, former Texan. When they're coming to play the Texans,
they do this.
They do this. Who else did they do this with? Like Matt Flynn or somebody a couple years ago. And it's like, was this even a situation of this guy ever getting a whiff under center with the Pats, or was this them picking his brain a little bit?
I don't think so. Listen, he knows O'Brien. He knows the situation there. I don't think that had anything to do. I mean, look, of course they were looking at quarterbacks. They probably liked him because he was playing under O'Brien. So it's part of the same kind of program. So it would be an easy transfer here, like more in the speed of what they're trying to do. That's, I think, more why that happened. But I see where you're going. You're kind of sounding like those guys that are talking about the cameras and the
conspiracy theorists.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, hey, I want Malcolm Butler to hold until the official tells him he can't by throwing a flag on him. That's kind of competition. That's competing. Okay. It's not against the rules until you say it's against the rules. And I would hope all 32 are playing under the same set of rules. Another kind of guy of like bringing in somebody to possibly get intel. Okay,
give it to me.
Okay, Mike Lombardi, who is not with the Pats this year, but the past 2 years was as an assistant to the coaching staff. Okay, he was the GM of the 013 Browns. Okay, and now just look, we bring in another 013 Brown this week.
Yes,
in John Hughes.
Right.
Okay, and I know everybody's like, oh yeah, okay, wow, that makes sense. We got Jabal Sheard last year, Mingo, and now we're getting Hughes. I heard somebody ask in the post-game presser, or maybe it was the midweek presser, it's saying that Hughes is the 14th 2013 Brown we brought in. I was unable to find corroboration of that, but it's ridiculous.
Right.
And I'm just looking around the teams of the league, what's the next team that has a lot of talent on it, that has a coaching change, and who are we going to poach off of them? When that GM becomes available, hey, would you like to be special assistant of the Patriots? And this just shows, how far ahead Belichick is of everybody else in the league.
Yeah, I know.
And it's so he brings in this guy, so he knows everything about all these guys that are on that team, and that they're making a switch on defense in their scheme, and who he can poach that's going to fit right into what he does.
It's amazing.
And this John Hughes guy he was a guy that the Browns thought highly about at one time before the 015 season. They signed him to a 4-year deal, 4 years, 15, 16 million. So this could be another beast that he plucks, And I was a little sad to see Anthony Johnson go in that transaction because he had such a good preseason, not so much in the early season this year, but I thought there was some promise there. But he got brought back and is on the practice squad now. So obviously Bill's not done with him. Coach him up, Bill. Yeah.
It's nice to have Browns as a farm team.
Yeah, it is nice. We got to get a couple more farm teams down there. I mean, we still have Saban and the coaching ranks down there, giving us the right idea of players. He's got a good relationship with Urban Meyer too. Oh man, this guy's just got it licked. It's amazing to me that other coaches have not just kind of carbon copied this a little more. I mean, I guess they try to, and they can't. I mean, you look at the litany of assistant coaches that have gone on to be head coaches that were coordinators under Bill, and they haven't had much success.
Yeah.
So maybe McDaniels will hopefully fall in that line once again, and he come back to us. I think Bill's got 10 years in him easy.
Yeah, and again, I think it comes down to it's the relationship between Belichick and Kraft that allows all this to happen.
Of course. Well, yeah.
And it's hard.
Brady,
And it's hard.
three-headed monster.
Yeah, and it's hard for someone like McDaniels to go somewhere else and establish that relationship that they got. It's hard.
Yeah,
I mean, that's key.
Yeah. So, what do you think about this Bills situation? I mean,
I think.
what are the Pats laying in this one?
It's
got to be.
I stay completely.
It's
away
got to
from
be close to double digits. Wouldn't you think?
No.
You would think it'd be less.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's got to be. Well, I guess with the.
Well, you don't know who's playing quarterback. It might even be off at this point.
It got to be Pats laying 7.5 at least.
You think, huh?
I would think so. But who do you think is going to be a stud for the Pats this week? Who's going to be the guy?
I mean, it's like we can't. The defense can't play any better. The defense can't play any better than they already did.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And
Malcolm said they could.
And Jamie Collins.
Oh my God, that pick! Oh my God!
I mean, that guy
so good.
is.
And I mean, he's taking the read steps like he's supposed to. He doesn't bite up on that tight end cross, and he's there for the pick.
I mean, he took over as like the quarterback. I mean, the coach back there.
Yeah. And then he dismissed that. He never talked to the reporters, but he talked to the reporters, and he kind of dismissed that. The green dot doesn't mean anything. It was just in true Belichick fashion. Oh, I just loved it. We're going to have to sign off and get out of here. Is there anything you want to shout out there before we go?
I can't find the line, so it must be off at this point, but it doesn't matter. Let's go. AJ Derby, Edelman, Brissett, Garoppolo. Four-headed quarterback monster this weekend.
We're going to see a little wildcat from Edelman, maybe?
Who knows what we're going to see?
Who knows?
Because if we did, we'd probably be the head coach of the Buffalo Bills.
Oof. I love it. 1 Eastern time on Sunday, the game?
Yep.
Nice. Oh, boy. All right. That's going to do it, gang, for another edition of Patriots Wrap 360. For Jason Cherella, I'm Mike Conley. Thanks for tuning in with us, gang. Go Pats! Rest in peace, Heather.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.